All right, patriots, freedom lovers, let's get on with a little bit of news. How millions were duped by Russiagate, the illusory truth effect. Illusory. Authored by Caitlin Johnstone via Medium.com through Zero Hedge. Mueller finds no Trump-Russia conspiracy. Read the front page headline of Sunday's New York Times. Bit by bit, mainstream America, or American consciousness, is slowly coming to terms with the death of the thrilling conspiracy theory that the highest levels of the U.S. government had been infiltrated by the Kremlin, and with the stark reality that the mass media and the Democratic Party spent the last 2.5 years monopolizing public attention with a narrative which never had any underlying truth to it. Never. But it said it doesn't necessarily exonerate him either. MSNBC, CNN. These people should be fired. Well, the network's response, we can't fire them. Why not? They've been pushing this lie. We're the ones giving them the script to read. You can't fire your employee for following your directions. Oh. Good. Shut these fake news media sites down, these monopolies down. There are still holdouts, of course. Many people invested a tremendous amount of hope, credibility, and egoic currency in the belief that Robert Mueller was going to arrest high-ranking Trump administration officials and members of Trump's own family, leading seedy characters to flip on the president in their own self-interest, and thereby providing evidence that will lead to impeachment. Some insist that Attorney General William Barr is holding back key elements of the Mueller report, a claim which is premised on the absurd belief that Mueller would allow Barr to lie about the results of the investigation without speaking up publicly. Others are still holding out hope that other investigations by other legal authorities will turn up some Russian shenanigans that Mueller just could not. You know, get even 2 years of studying this stuff, 50 FBI agents, $25 million, huge team. They'll find something. A little small crack. I got my crack team in New York City, full of liberal Democrat deep staters. Others are still holding out hope that other investigations by other legal authorities will turn up some Russian shenanigans that Mueller just could not, ignoring Mueller's sweeping subpoena powers and unrivaled investigative authority. But they're coming around. The question still remains, though, what the hell happened? How did a fact-free conspiracy theory come to gain so much traction among mainstream Americans? How were millions of people persuaded to invest in hope in a narrative that anyone objectively analyzing the facts knew to be completely false? The answer is that they were told that the Russiagate narrative was legitimate over and over again by politicians and mass media pundits, and because of peculiar phenomenon in the nature of human cognition, this repetition made it seem true. The rather uncreatively named illusory truth effect describes the way people are more likely to believe something is true after hearing it said many times. This is due to the fact that the familiar feeling we experience when hearing something we've heard before feels very similar to our experience of knowing that something is true. When we hear a familiar idea, its familiarity provides us with something called cognitive ease, which is the relaxed, unlabored state we experience when our minds aren't working hard at something. We also experience cognitive ease when we are presented with a statement that we know to be true. So when you wonder why these wackadoodle liberals all over Twitter or wherever they are, and you see them repeat something, oh, Donald, well, they're going to do that. And you wait, you just used the exact phrase, the exact keyword phrase MSNBC said, Nancy Pelosi said, Adam Schiff for brain said. Former Nevada, what was it? Harry Reid said, right? The same exact phrase. Just keep pushing the phrase out. Yep. Collusion, 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 Russian collusion, Russian collusion, Russian. You've heard it so much, you don't even have to think about it anymore. Yeah, oh yeah, Russian collusion. Yeah, I know. So that when you argue with someone, oh, Russian collusion. He's involved in Russian collusion. What do you mean specifically? Working with the Russians. Like specifically, what do they, well, actually, I don't know. I don't know. Because I heard it on TV. And here's the thing. They may not even, quote unquote, hear it on TV. It's being played everywhere they go. You walk through an airport. Got my luggage. Yeah, let me get out here. Oh, what do you see when you get out of the airport? CNN. Let me keep going. Next turnstile or whatever. Oh, CNN. Yeah. So even as you're walking, maybe not even paying attention, you've got this overhead noise. Russian collusion, Russian collusion, Russian collusion. Oh, who's calling? Who's texting? Oh, my Russian collusion, Russian collusion, Russian collusion. Oh, I gotta text you back. Hey, I'm at the airport. Yeah. Russian collusion, Russian collusion. Taxi cab, turn on the radio. Russian collusion, Russian. You just automatically think it's legit. It's just normal. Your brain, like this person's saying, it's just automatic. It's automatic. I know you feel it. It's automatic. Now, you know what I just did? You're an OG. You don't know what I just did? You're not an OG. But I still love you, one way or the other. We have a tendency to select for cognitive ease, which is why confirmation bias is a thing. Believing ideas which don't cause cognitive strain or dissonance gives us more cognitive ease than doing otherwise. You know, and what do we like to do as humans? I want to take the least path of resistance. I'd rather cut across the lawn and get to the front door rather than go all the way around, cross, get on the stupid sidewalk, go past the gate. Oh, and the thing's probably gonna reach around and hit the lock. I'd rather go the straight line, right? I mean, that's what we do. It's normal. When you go drive to work, do you take the long way to work on purpose? No, I want to get there. Shoot, I'm gonna be late. I gotta get on the interstate, go the fastest way I can get there. It's normal. Same with our thing. I don't want to have to research. People send me videos. Oh, check this out. Bill, our buddy Bill, I love you. Bill's out of work right now. He stopped doing contracting work at the moment because he sees an apocalypse happening with housing. So Bill has a lot of time on his hands. Oh, check this video out, Joe. Check this video out. Bill, it's an hour and 30 minutes. And I'm at work. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that. And even when I get home, do I want to watch something for an hour and a half? Can I find the information in a little less than an hour and a half, right? So my brain, and your brain probably does it too, I want the most information I can get with the most unbelievable tiny amount of effort required by me, because time is money. I'm busy. I'm doing stuff, right? We're all so busy. Oh, my phone. Facebook update. That's even more busy. I got to stay on Facebook and update rather than watch an hour and a half video. I got Facebook updates to do. I just took a massive dump. It was kind of diarrhea-ish. I mean, these people need to know this. Bill, don't send me that. I got to tell people on my Facebook. I got to take a massive dump. Just kidding. But long story short, it's built in. And if everybody around you is chanting the same thing, it's, oh, yeah. Oh, everybody knows that. But really, do you? Did you spend any time looking into it? No, not at all. Because I'm too busy. But the media did. Every single news channel I turned on said it. Why would they lie? That's the next argument. Well, did you look? Well, why would they lie? So everybody's lying. A bunch of Democratic congressmen and senators. All the mainstream media. Oh, come on. Come on, Jay Snip. Yeah. You think you do? The effing president deserves a favor for you to at least look to see if the allegations are true. Is there any substance to this? No, I don't like him anyways. I wouldn't do that anyways. I don't have time. Whatever. We'll just have to agree to disagree. Okay. Yeah. We can agree to disagree until this breaking news comes out. No Russian collusion at all. No obstruction. Our evolutionary ancestors adapted to seek out cognitive ease so that they could put their attention into making quick decisions essential for survival rather than painstakingly mulling over whether everything we believe is true as we think it is. This was great for not getting eaten by, saber-toothed tigers in prehistoric times, but it's not very helpful when navigating the twists and turns of a cognitively complex modern world. It's also not helpful when you're trying to cultivate truthful beliefs while surrounded by screens that are repeating the same bogus talking points over and over and over again. Again, walk out of the airport. Collusion, 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 it's just, I mean, you're humming the song, collusion, collusion, collusion. Yeah, it's just you sleeping, dreaming, collusion, collusion. They are pounding you with this, and you don't. I don't mean you, but people you don't know. This is happening to them. They just think this is just this normal thing. And I normally am getting this information, so I'm normal, and this is fine. And the information says there's collusion and everything. They're not realizing there is a concerted effort to freaking brainwash you into believing something. For God's sakes, they got you on 9/11, didn't they? They got me. It wasn't until 2006-ish I said, holy crap, there's something going on. Oh, wait a minute, why are all these videos trending massively on Google Video before they shut it down for YouTube? Let me watch one of these damn things. I can't believe these are trending. What is this crap? And I was blown away by what I saw and said, okay, I need to get some more. I need to get some other opinions and look at some of these statements these people have made. And I could find out pretty quickly. Wow. Building 7? What the hell's Building 7? I've never heard of that. Twin Towers. What is Building 7? And then I saw some of the video of this building falling straight down at free fall speed as if nothing was under it, stopping it or slowing it down top to bottom. A couple blocks away from the towers or so. I think it was a couple blocks, 1 to 2 blocks away. Wow. Mainstream media. Osama bin Laden, Osama bin Laden, Osama bin Laden, Osama bin Laden. Afghanistan, Afghanistan, Afghanistan. Weapons of mass destruction, Iraq. 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 But I thought Osama bin Laden. No, 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 no. Weapons of mass destruction, Iraq. Okay, he's got weapons of mass destruction. Why are we over there in another war? He's got everybody knows why we're there. He has weapons of mass destruction. We've got to deal with that guy. Weapons of mass destruction. What's next? What's next after that? Back to Afghanistan, Pakistan. Oh my gosh. Oh, breaking news. We got Osama bin Laden. Got him. Got his body as evidence. Again, speaking of talking points that get repeated all day long, we got his body as evidence. We got his body as evidence. We got his body as evidence. Change the channel. We got his body as evidence. We got his body as evidence. Change the channel. We got his body as evidence. I said it. I told you the story before. All night long, flipping channels. Any new info? Any new? Is someone gonna show the body? You know, that's what I'm thinking. Is someone gonna show the body? I want to see this. I can't believe this guy that they got Osama. I can't believe it. I gotta find it. I'm flipping. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. I gotta go to bed. I gotta work tomorrow. Wake up 7 a.m. Turn the radio on. They threw his body away at sea. No one got to see it. And now that wasn't the talking point I heard all night. All night long was we have his body as evidence. Quick blurb in the morning. We threw his body away at sea. Moving on. How did the raid go? How did they get him? We sent a Black Hawk in. What was the? Whoa! Excuse me. Rewind. Rewind that. Did I just hear you say you threw his body away at sea? Out of respect for some kind of Islamic burial within 24 hours? Yep, that's what you heard. And you ain't gonna hear too much after that because we already pumped out all over the news all night long. We got his body as evidence. Body as evidence. Body as evidence. Yeah, we got his body. We didn't have his body as evidence. We threw it away. Oversea. Overboard. I'm dealing with a perfect example of the perils of cognitive ease right now. Writing this essay has required me to move outside my familiar comfort zone of political commentary and read a bunch of studies and essays, think hard about new ideas, and then figure out how to convey them as clearly and concisely as possible without boring my audience. This movement away from cognitive ease has resulted in my checking Twitter a lot more often than I usually do, and seeking so much distraction that this essay will probably end up getting published about 12 hours later than I had intended. Having to read a bunch of scholars explaining the precise reasons why I'm acting like such an airhead hasn't exactly helped my sense of cognitive ease any either. Science has been aware of the illusory truth effect since 1977, when a study found that subjects were more likely to evaluate a statement as true when it's been repeatedly presented to them over the course of a couple of weeks, even if they did not consciously remember having encountered that statement before. These findings have been replicated in numerous studies since, and new research in recent years has shown that the phenomenon is even more drastic than initially believed. A 2015 paper titled "Knowledge Does Not Protect Against Illusory Truth" found that the illusory truth effect is so strong that sheer repetition can change the answers that test subjects give, even when they had been in possession of knowledge contradicting that answer beforehand. This study was done to test the assumption, which had gone unchallenged up until then, that the illusory truth effect only comes into play when there is no stored knowledge of the subject at hand. Quote, surprisingly, repetition increased statements' perceived truth regardless of whether stored knowledge could have been used to detect a contradiction, the paper reads. Reading a statement like, "A sari is the name of a short pleated skirt worn by Scots," increased participants' later belief that it was true, even if they could correctly answer the question, what is the name of the short pleated skirt worn by Scots? Stored knowledge tells pretty much everybody that the short pleated skirt worn by Scots is a kilt, not a sari. But simply repeating the contrary statement can convince them otherwise. This explains why we all know people who are extraordinarily intelligent but still bought into the Russiagate narrative just as much as our less mentally apt friends and acquaintances. Their intelligence didn't save them from this debunked conspiracy theory. It just made them more clever in finding ways to defend it. This is because the illusory truth effect largely bypasses the intellect and even one's own stored knowledge because of the way we all reflexively select for cognitive ease. Another study titled "Incrimination Through Innuendo: Can Media Questions Become Public Answers?" found that subjects can be manipulated into believing an allegation simply by exposure to innuendo or incriminating questions in news media headlines. Questions like, for example, what if Trump has been a Russian asset since 1987? Printed by the New York Magazine by New York Magazine in July of last year. You can understand then how a populace who is consuming repetitive assertions, innuendo, and incriminating questions on a daily basis through the screens that they look at many times a day could be manipulated into believing that Robert Mueller would one day reveal evidence which would lead to the destruction of the Trump administration. The repetition leads to belief, the belief leads to trust, and before you know it, people who are scared of the president are reading the Palmer Report every day and parking themselves in front of Rachel Maddow every night and letting everything they say slide right past their skepticism filters, marinating comfortably in the sedative of cognitive ease. And that repetition has been no accident. CNN producer John Bonifeld was caught on video nearly 2 years ago admitting that CNN CEO Jeff Zucker was personally instructing his staff to stay focused on Russia even in the midst of far more important breaking news stories. Quote, my boss, I shouldn't say this, my boss yesterday, we were having a discussion about this dental shoot, and he goes and he was like, I want you to know what we are up against here. And he goes, just to give you some context, President Trump pulled out of the climate accord, and for a day and a half we covered the climate accords. And the CEO of CNN said in our internal meeting, he said, Good job, everybody, covering the climate accords. But we're done with it. Let's get back to Russia. And before you get on me about O'Keefe's, Mr. O'Keefe who did the Shady's record, CNN said in a statement that the video was in fact legitimate and disputed none of its content, saying only that it stands by Bonnefeld and that diversity of personal opinion is what makes CNN strong. We welcome it and we embrace it. Unless you don't toe the line, then we kick you out. Zucker, for his part, told the New York Times in an article published yesterday that he was entirely comfortable with CNN's role in promoting the Russiagate conspiracy theory the way that it did. We are not investigators, we are journalists, and our role is to report the facts as we know them, which is exactly what we did. Facts as we know them. And the facts how they know them is a blatant lie, a conspiracy against the president. That's that's what we knew. That's our opinion. That's how we presented it. That's how we knew it. That's what they'll fall back on. Well, that's what we thought. But a strange thing is happening. The mainstream media is losing viewers by the boatload. And do you think, after this Russiagate fail, the mainstream media just, you think they lost a crap ton more here recently? People who have said, I've had enough. I cannot believe this. They said this, they promised that, and this happened. Trump is not indicted. There's no impeachment. There's no enough for nobody. Nobody's charged. Not even his kid, not even Kushner. And they're going to get pissed off at the lying mainstream media, which they should. Speaking of one of them, Brian Stelter, CNN President Jeff Zucker, we are not investigators. We are journalists, and our role is to report the facts as we know them, which is exactly what we did. That was him from a few days ago. Or as Mark Dice would say, Brian Stelter! I love his Mickey Mouse interpretation. So, anyways, great video because great content I just read here. This is fantastic. How were we duped? How did this happen? This guy just explained it flawlessly. Or I say guy, it's a girl, Caitlin. Take care.